Every legend starts with a struggle, but for these two, it was a battle for their lives. In 1946, a doctor's mistake with a pair of forceps during birth left a newborn Sylvester Stallone with a paralyzed left side of his face. He was told he would never speak correctly. Across the world, a young Bruce Lee was so sickly as a child that his parents gave him a female nickname to trick the demons into leaving him alone. One was born with a broken face, the other with a broken spirit. Neither was supposed to become a hero. Before the yellow jumpsuit, Bruce Lee was a street criminal in Hong Kong. He didn't join a gym to get fit, he joined to survive. He was a leader of a gang called the Junction Street 8. He fought on rooftops with no rules, often coming home covered in blood. His parents were so terrified the triads would kill him or the police would jail him, that they sent him to San Francisco with only $100 in his pocket. Bruce Lee wasn't a movie star moving to Hollywood, he was a refugee running for his life. In 1975, Sylvester Stallone reached rock bottom. He was so poor he had to sell his wife's jewelry, and eventually, he had no choice but to sell his best friend, his dog, Butkus. He stood outside a liquor store and sold him to a stranger for $40 just to buy food. He walked away crying. But a few weeks later, he sold the script for Rocky. The very first thing he did? He tracked down the man and paid $15,000 to get Butkus back. That dog didn't just save Stallone's life, he became the heart of the most famous boxing movie in history. Hollywood told Stallone he was unmarketable. They laughed at his slurred speech and his droopy eyes. But Stallone knew something they didn't: authenticity wins. He refused to sell the Rocky script unless he played the lead. He turned his Paralysis into a signature look that 50 years later, the world still recognizes. He proved that you don't need a perfect face to have a perfect heart. It's not about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. When Bruce Lee finally got to Hollywood, he faced a bizarre problem: he was too fast for technology. During the filming of The Green Hornet, his kicks were so rapid that the 35mm cameras of the 1960s only showed a blur. The director had to ask him to slow down his movements so the audience could actually see what was happening. Lee was a human blur, a man who could snatch a coin from your hand and leave a grain of rice before you could even blink. He wasn't just a martial artist, he was an anomaly of nature. Sylvester Stallone never wanted to just act like a fighter. For the filming of Rocky IV, he made a decision that almost cost him his life. He told Dolph Lundgren, who played Ivan Drago, "Don't hold back. Hit me for real." One massive punch to the chest slammed Stallone's heart against his ribs. His heart began to swell, and he was rushed to intensive care. He spent 4 days in the hospital, hovering between life and death. He was willing to die for the perfect shot. He didn't play a hero, he lived like one. Even as a superstar, Bruce Lee was never safe. Rival martial arts masters in Hong Kong would sneak onto his movie sets just to challenge him to real fights. They wanted to prove the little dragon was a fraud. One legendary story says a stuntman challenged him, and Lee ended the fight in seconds with a flurry of kicks that left the man unconscious. Bruce Lee wasn't just a performer, he was a warrior who had to defend his honor every single day. Bruce Lee taught the world to be water, to be formless, to adapt, and to flow. Stallone taught the world the eye of the tiger, to stand your ground, to take the pain, and to never quit. It is the ultimate clash of styles, the philosopher who wins by being unpredictable, versus the survivor who wins by being unbreakable. One avoids the storm, the other becomes the storm. At the age of 32, at the absolute peak of his power, Bruce Lee vanished. The official cause was an allergic reaction to an aspirin, but the world refused to believe it. Was it the triads, the Chinese mafia, seeking revenge for his fame? Was it a secret dim Mac, touch of death, from a rival master who hated that Lee shared Chinese secrets with the West? Or was it a family curse? The mystery deepened years later when his son, Brandon Lee, died in a freak accident on a movie set. The legend of the Lee family is written in blood and mystery. While Bruce Lee remains a frozen icon of youth, Stallone has become a monument of human endurance. Over 50 years in Hollywood, he has undergone 14 major surgeries. He has metal plates in his neck, reconstructed shoulders, and countless scars. He is the ultimate example of what a human being can endure. He outlived all his rivals, proving that sometimes, the greatest skill is simply the ability to stay in the fight longer than anyone else. It's time for the world to decide. If these two met in a dark alley, with no cameras and no rules, who walks out alive? The 95 kilograms unbreakable will of Sylvester Stallone, the man who refuses to stay down? Or the 64 kilograms supernatural speed of Bruce Lee, the man you cannot even see? Vote now. Team Stallone or Team Bruce Lee? And tell us, do you believe in the curse of the dragon? Let us settle this in the comments.